Okay, thank you. Welcome, everyone. This is the Washington State Building Code Council Legislative Committee for March 9th, 2023. Let's take roll, please.
Todd Beruder.
Here.
Tony, Don, Damon Doyle, Chell Anderson, Corey, I see Corey here.
Here.
Jay Arnold, Jay he won't be available. He is traveling. Micah Chappelle, and representative Romel.
Okay.
As usual, we don't have quorum.
Okay, so we will move straight into our legislative update.
Okay.
Please. Okay, and then I guess to start off, starting before we jump in. Oh, I just was trying to remember 5258, right? That's the one that this afternoon, it looks like, right? Is coming back from.
Yeah, but we don't have big issues currently with
Yeah.
it because section 13 was removed.
Okay. Okay. You want to just kind of jump in, Stoyan, what survived yesterday?
Yeah. Well, I don't have reliable information.
Okay.
But I'm working on it, and I will send you the list of dead and alive bills probably this afternoon.
Yeah. No hurry. I went through them this morning just to remind myself so we can kind of talk through a little bit. I made some notes here.
Well, there were several late meetings, including during the weekend, and I couldn't keep up with them.
Yeah.
So I'm working on the list, and you'll have it again after the meeting.
Yeah.
I have the calendar for next week, so I'll show you the calendar.
Okay.
But I need to put together the list with the alive and dead bills. So 1042 is moving. I saw a few options for modifications. The options I saw are, well, not perfect, but good options. For it will clarify what the intent is. So in this case, when we get to this requirement, we will know what our task is.
So that's on the 17th, and who now is the champion on the Senate side for this?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I don't. But again, the amendments, I know there are some amendments proposed by City of Seattle. We proposed some amendments. Again, the language can be always better, but it's much better than the existing one. So I assume they'll go through with it.
Okay.
The next one is 1110. You can tell by the actions here. So it's been moving fast. A few modifications were made to the bill. The definitions were clarified. So it's for the State Building Code Council viewpoint, it's acceptable for us.
Okay.
1167, the same thing. We talked about it. Several modifications were made, and currently there are some tasks for the State Building Code Council, but we'll establish 2 work groups, and we will research and work on something. And the due dates, the effective dates were corrected, so it will align with the triennial code adoption cycle. So we're good with that.
Okay.
$54.91. This is a little bit it has similar language, compared to 1167, but it have a direct requirement for the State Building Code Council, and also it adopts copy-paste language from Seattle Code, which is good for Seattle. I don't know how good it will be for a statewide application, but this is what we have. Here is the last action here. It passed 46 years. Only 2 nays. '55, '53. This requires the council to adopt this standard for temporary emergency shelters. It's a difficult task, but the bill is kind of clear what we need to do. Yeah, we need to coordinate with other state agencies, but I think the language is simple and it gives us some room for research and working the issues with other state departments. 56, 57. This is the one for the kid homes. I keep exchanging emails with the LNI, and I just got one email this morning. I don't know how to respond to it. I read the law and the regulations differently. They're telling me that LNI is not enforcing, not inspecting, and not approving concealed wall assemblies. I don't know who is doing that. I mean, Corey is here. I don't know if Corey, you guys work on this, but these are enclosed wall assemblies with the plumbing inside. I mean, if LNI is not inspecting those, we're not talking about the plumbing course here, just the walls with the plumbing in it. I'm not sure who is inspecting this here. If LNI is telling me they are not inspecting those, well, who is doing that?
It's my understanding it's the FAS inspectors.
Yeah, but I just got an email that they told me they don't inspect walls. I don't know.
They had for a specific job that went in Seattle. And what I'm told now is that those walls that they were inspecting have removable panels. So what they do now is they install the plumbing, the manufacturer installs whatever they're going to install on the walls. The connections are made in the field in the actual site where the building's at, and then it's being inspected by the authority having jurisdiction. So that may have been a shift. I know that 2 years ago they started a project where one of our contractors had the bid to install the plumbing in the walls. They would stand the wall up and test it, and then get inspected, and then it would be covered. But things may have changed. If they're telling you the FAS isn't doing it anymore, that may be the case.
Well, what they're telling me is that, let me see, walls or panels are not components requiring insignia of approval. Walls and panels which are not assembled into a structure at the off-site manufacturing facility, but delivered to the developed property for assembly are not under the authority of NLI, Labor and Industries.
So that may be a shift, and it may have been a burden financially to them or whatever the burden was. So they punted.
Yeah. And just as a side on this, story, and I mean, my understanding this one's dead right now anyway, but just parallel to this, I'm aware there is an ICC effort to produce a new guideline on panelization for closed systems. So there are other efforts going on revolving around Chapter 17 pathways, and specifically ICC standards. They're called 1200 and 1205. Those are the new kind of modular prefab standards. So some of this stuff, in my read, is in motion other places, but it's interesting that it was trying to go through a policy pathway also.
Factory built housing is becoming a big deal, and I'm sure this or similar bill will be introduced next year. And I'll keep communicating with LNI and see what the issue is, financial, or they read the law differently. I was surprised to hear that they don't inspect us, but
nonetheless, we think this one's dead. Right now.
I believe so. Yes, I believe so. It is. So this is all I have. Here is the calendar for next week. So 1167 has public hearing on 14th. 14th is Tuesday.
And then someone more knowledgeable, I think we've kind of been over this many times, but I assume at some point the single stair, single exit provisions, I think that did carry along in 1167 will kind of combine with the standalone Senate bill that also moved.
Reading 1167, I think, again, personal opinion here, it makes more sense, because, just copy paste from Seattle. I mean, it was developed for Seattle. I don't know the details. I don't know. Micah was saying that it took them a while to develop this, but the Senate bill refers to international building code sections. Well, these international building code sections, they are not amended. Seattle uses the same sections, but they are amended for their purposes. So I'm not sure how it will work out, but and we met with Senator Solomon. We submitted our testimony in writing. I testified at one of the committees. The bill got amended and it looks much better than the original bill, but it's still, so it is how it is.
Okay.
55-53 also on 14th, but besides the extra work, we don't have issues with 55-53. And executive session for 1167 on 16th. And keep in mind, this is an early calendar, so early schedule, so it will be modified a few times.
Sure.
And I will be sending you the updated schedule. So if somebody is interested, you can attend these meetings. This is all I had.
Okay. Let's see. Thank you for that. I see we have Micah, but I don't think we have quorum yet. So
with Micah, we're 3, we need 4.
okay. Well, anything else for kind of good order from the committee or from public? All right. Guess that was easy. Made it through the first cutoff. Okay, well, thank you, everyone. Then we'll adjourn and we'll meet same time next week.
Thank you.
All right.